Okay, so the last bit that I want to just cover ever so slightly for this drumming tutorial, learning how to drum, is another part that most people want to know how to do. It's actually, if they hear a really good song on the radio or whatever, is how to kind of work out the drum parts for that song. Now it's quite difficult and you have to have a really good ear, but Ableton makes this process a lot easier. So let me just show you how I would do this. Now, the first really important thing, and I say really important thing, is that before you do anything, if you want to make your life easier, you need to start a new Ableton project, okay? So I'm not going to reset up because I've already set this one up, but you have to start from a blank canvas, and that way everything kind of gets done automatically. If you don't start from a blank canvas, the setup's slightly more complex, and we'll come to that later. I'm going to try to avoid doing that now, but if you want to make it easy for yourself, start from a blank canvas. Right, from that point on, I've just bought a track from iTunes. Okay, it's this one here. Now, due to copyright laws, I'm not really allowed to play it, but I can show you the process, okay? So all I've done is I've grabbed this track from my iTunes library. In order to get your iTunes library, you just set up a folder, okay, and that's what I did before. Grab this and I drag it to an audio track or a blank canvas. When I drag it here, it will instantly create everything I need. So if you double click on the track that you've just created, you'll see that here's the track that you've got. Now let's just zoom in so you can see it's the whole track. Okay, and one thing you'll notice is it's going to have all of these markers, and they're what's called warp markers. And that's because the warp engine is on. And this is what I was saying right at the beginning, is if you do this from a blank canvas, Ableton works all the things out for you. It works all the tempos out, and it doesn't base it on the tempos that you've already set up, which is fantastic. The only thing that it doesn't necessarily do is get you beat one. So you kind of have to work beat one out for yourself. So how I find beat one is I'll put my playhead somewhere and I'll just zoom in around the playhead. Now with this track, it's fairly simple to see where beat one is because it's generally the loudest part and the flattest part. So you can see there's a really nice clean beat one there. So put your playhead on beat one and zoom right in to make sure you've got it as close to that point as possible. And this can be a bit fiddly, but let me just zoom in and navigate around until we get as far in as we can, and that looks absolutely perfect. Now you can see mine is set to beat one, but when it came in it wasn't. So all I did is I came up into this area here, I right clicked, and then I went up to the point here that says set 111, and that basically sorts out the whole timing and it finds out where beat one is. And if you've got a song like this one where all the tempo is absolutely spot on, then it will just sort everything out from there onwards. Okay, so set 111 sorts out, so when you find the loop that you want to kind of work out the part for, it makes it a lot easier. Now in this song I found a loop up here, so all I did was zoom right out until I saw these loop panels. I just moved them around to bar 39. And then once again, bit fiddly, but I zoomed right in and I navigated to the point. Now, the best way of doing this is actually to put your playhead, just by clicking on the audio track, where you want to zoom to. And what you'll find is when you zoom now, it does roughly zoom around that playhead. Now, I've set the loop up, so it starts at bar 39, finishes at bar 41. So when I press the play on the actual track, you'll hear it just loop around. I'll just play it once. And that allows you, oh, let me just stop this one. That's what I worked out earlier, and I'll show you that in a minute. So that allows you to find a point in the song where the drums are more prominent, which is that bit there for me, and then you can work out the parts. And using the same process that I used in the past lessons, is I've just gone one part at a time, and I've just inputted it. So I've come over to my MIDI drum part and I've just started inputting them. If you wanted to know what this track is, it's here. So I started this track with just the hi-hats. Okay, so I worked out the hi-hat part, then I worked out the bass and snare together, and I played these in using the quantize settings. However, when I played them in, the swing on the grid wasn't completely right. Because I'm using quantizing to sort out my grid, I went down here and I got 16s, but if you notice the song, it's really swung, it's really lively. So you need a swing setting. This is where Ableton really comes into its own. You've got this groove setting down here, and I've just chosen swing 8. Okay, so by clicking this refresh button up in the library panel, it allows you to choose all of these swing grooves, and you can choose any of them. So I've just come down to the swing and I've started sampling. If you click on this one, it will just play it for you. As long as this headphone icon is on in blue, it will just play how the swing pattern will be incorporated. Okay, just turn that off. And then when you're ready, you just double click on it. I'm not going to double click on it because I quite like the one that I've got. But if you want it, you just double click on it and you're away and you've got your swing groove. Now, I've done that and it's taken me quite a while. Let me just press stop and go back to that. It's taken me quite a while, and that's all typed in, and I've changed the groove. My next mission from here is actually to learn how to play it. So from here, I'm going to go back a step, and I'm going to learn to play over the top of it, and then I'm going to record it in by myself. And that's a really good process for learning parts on a song, okay? So just to reiterate, find the song that you want, import it into Ableton, find a section of the song after you've used the warp tool to set the beats 1, find a section of the song where you can clearly hear where the tempo of the song or where the instrument you want to learn is, and then work out the parts, and that will take you a little bit of time, but you can listen to it over and over, and you can actually record. So say for instance you've got this one playing and this one playing, you can actually press the recording clip and you can record it in at the same time, which is a fantastic technique. Then you can come down, you can press the B tool and you can start editing it until you've got it the way you want it to. That's all I'm going to say about that. I will say that that's quite an advanced technique, so if you're not ready for that, don't worry, hopefully you'll get there once you've had a bit more of practice. Keep practicing your drums, and then next time we're going to look at another instrument and we're going to learn how to break that one down, learn how to play that. Okay, so I'll see you in the next lesson.